All right, welcome back, Helming Athletics. Today we're talking programming, and specifically I want to paint some broader brushstrokes for you athletes out there who are, triathletes who've discovered CrossFit, or even who are CrossFitters who are trying to get a little bit more into the endurance world. Hey, how do I combine these two worlds together? How do I make it make sense? And as I like to start, I like to just put 3 avenues up there on the board and really ask the question, what type of athlete are you, and what type of athlete are you trying to be? So, as a triathlete, I came from this middle world, right? As a standard triathlete, we would see pretty standard set of workouts. We would start with a very balanced program for the week. We start off with something like 3 swims, 3 bikes, 3 runs, and then let's say, depending on time of year, 2 to 3 strength workouts. Strength could be CrossFit. Sometimes in the triathlon world, any cross training would do. Yoga, Pilates, TRX, it doesn't matter. Just something that's not swimming, biking, running that works on a few things. Now, I want to show the avenues to the left and to the right. To the right would be something that's more typically CrossFit and also CrossFit endurance. And the program that they show is, hey, instead of 2 to 3 strengths, we're looking at, say, 4 to 6 strength days. And then all of a sudden, I'm only doing maybe 1 to 2 swims, 1 to 2 bikes, and 1 to 2 runs a week. The idea for this program is, hey, I'm mostly a CrossFit athlete. I want to get a little exposure additionally to running, swimming, and cycling that I don't initially get in my regular CrossFit workouts. What's a little extra work I can do to get myself ready for a marathon, an Ironman, or something else? Now over here on the left side, I want to show what an elite endurance athlete's program would look like, whether they're a triathlete or a swimmer or a runner, but we'll just focus on triathletes for now. All of a sudden, if they're over here, they're looking at 4 to 5 swims, 4 to 5 bikes, 4 to 5 runs, and then maybe 1 to 2 strength workouts, all depending. And I want to show this right at this juxtaposition because there are different avenues, and sometimes we get caught up in the debate, oh, one avenue is better than the other. You shouldn't do a certain thing because it'll break you down, and our way is better. So we always hear that and we always get into that argument. I don't find that argument very productive. I instead like to figure out where you are and where you're trying to get to. And programming in this respect is just a bit of problem solving. What problems are we trying to solve? Well, it could be minor ones. Hey, I'm trying to get a little faster. I'm trying to get a little bit better going up hills or down hills. I'm trying to improve my swimming. Those are fun problems. But major problems occur too, and major problems are, hey, every time I try to run more than 6 miles, my IT band blows up. I don't know. Every time I try to add an extra day of swimming, my shoulder blows up. That becomes a problem. And we can use these avenues and jump from one avenue to another to help ourselves out. So I started off here as a triathlete, really working a lot in this world, and I was training 15 to 20 hours a week. That's what I thought it took, especially that last little bit, trying to get myself there. It's not that hard, relatively, to get from 0 to 90% of your genetic potential. One of my favorite sayings, an old coach I used to talk to, he said that when he coached juniors, that juniors only needed to smell a training program and they would get better. Meaning that just at their age, they were so new, they're beginners, it doesn't take much, they just need to start doing some stuff. But it gets a little trickier for that last 10%, that last 5%. And then all of a sudden, you're an Olympic distance athlete who is training in the next 4 years to shave 20 seconds off of their 10K, as opposed to the 5 minutes they maybe shaved off of in the previous 5 or 10 years. So it just gets harder and harder to get those little returns. So that's why we would live over here. We need more volume. We need more specificity. Specificity is key. We're seeing this in the CrossFit world too. CrossFitters, they're seeing bigger prize purses for the games, and all of a sudden they're saying, hey, 3 days on, 1 day off is a good place to start, but it's not particularly complex. And the longer I've been a CrossFitter, I need to work harder to get those gains. So hey, now I'm going to start to see some progressions in the season. I'm starting to see some times where I'm going really hard and sometimes I'm going a little bit less. I'm seeing more specific work on my gymnastics, more specific work on my Olympic lifting. We're starting to see that CrossFitters are being very good specific CrossFit athletes, and they're trying to be really, really good for the Open and the regionals, and obviously for the games. So it's interesting how just in the CrossFit world, at first they were very much anti-periodization and programming, and now they're starting to come full circle and get right back into that. So specificity is key. I'm an elite distance triathlete. I'm trying to go sub 3 hours in a marathon or faster. I'm trying to qualify for Kona. I'm trying to race collegiately or professionally. Chances are I need to live over here. But sometimes athletes here, they get so specifically good that they lose some things in their general physical base, and the wobbles start to come out, and they start to see all these injuries, and they don't know what to do, and they don't know how to solve them. Well, this is something that I think we can provide in the strength and conditioning world. We can broaden your general physical base, your skill base, work on your ability to stabilize those hips, those knees, those ankles, work on those shoulders, and really connect things a little bit more. And if you're not really sure what I'm saying, we've got about 1 million videos coming out of San Francisco CrossFit between Diane Fu, Carl Pelly, Kelly Starrett, and myself that really talk about these things. So if I'm an elite athlete who's here, who's struggling, hey, maybe I need to migrate over to here for a little while. Dial back on the swim, bikes, and runs a little bit, do a little bit more CrossFit or strength and conditioning, build my general physical base up again, right? Say I'm over here, right, and I want to go and I'm feeling pretty good, everything's good, I want to take my training up to the next level. Well, hey, it might make sense in the month or two before, say your next big race, your Ironman, your marathon, your triathlon, to dial back a little bit here and go over here. So you can see that we can navigate back and forth, no one's wrong. Now, I talked to a great athlete up when I was in Texas a couple weeks ago, a guy named Chris Kepler. He's out of CrossFit Central, and he did, what did he do? He did Leadville 100 trail race, a super gnarly, high elevation 100-mile endurance run. But he did it based on his fitness program, which has always been CrossFit. He's always been a CrossFit guy. Bigger, heavier guy, not what you would call a quote-unquote natural runner. Chris, if you're out there listening, you are a good runner. You finished Leadville, but don't worry. We're not the 100% natural one. But he was over here, and the reason why is because he knows CrossFit, and this was the base of his plan. He did CrossFit 4 to 6 days a week, and he could really only handle 1 to 2 runs. So he built his runs up. He was trying to work on some of the things he needed, maybe a little bit of distance volume running, maybe some stamina and some strength workouts, and hey, he finished his Leadville race, and he got his buckle, and things were great. But he knows, as we talked, that if he wanted to get out there and do it again and do it a little bit better, he might have to jump over here for a little while, get into the more specifics of the endurance world. So as you can see, I have these different avenues. What kind of athlete do I want to be? It all depends. Everyone's right, everyone has something to offer. The only thing that I like to do in terms of problem solving, coming in, say, hey, you're over here and you're not happy with your run performances, well, hey, let's get you running a little bit more and let's see what happens. Hey, you're over here and you're breaking down all the time, you're dealing with injury, you're frustrated because you're not able to really hit that hard training when it counts. Hey, you know what? We maybe need to dial back your volume. There's something you're missing. The speed wobbles are coming out. Let's work on those things. Let's broaden that general physical base and get you going. So some broad brushstrokes there for you, what type of athlete you want to be. Check it out, think about it, and I'll catch you next time.